Welcome to my family. This picture is 1997. It's the day of my mum and my stepdad's wedding. And I am the little one on the edge, the one in white MC Hammer trousers. Don't ask me why I'm wearing MC Hammer trousers. I thought I was cool. I was 13. From the age of 6, when my parents divorced and I went to live with my mum and my stepdad, I had 3 older brothers and 2 older stepbrothers. And therefore there was 5 of us. Some of my earliest memories were around the dinner table. It was noisy. There's hands flying everywhere. I've got 5 older brothers, all with bigger voices, bigger stature, more interesting. And little old me, well, I just kind of sat back. I didn't really know how to take up space. I didn't really know how to have a voice. Until the end of the meal, when everybody would throw their plates down the end of the table and I'd eat everything. And it got me some attention. It was my role in the house to be Ben, the human dustbin. But that was okay. It wasn't all bad, because actually eating everything meant that I put on some extra pounds. And I was quite big for my age. I went to school, and in that context, I was one of the bigger kids. And because I was reasonably good at sport, all of a sudden, I was pushed to the front. And all of a sudden, had to take up space. I was the captain of our house. I was the captain of the football team. I was captain of the cricket team. And all of a sudden, this shy boy down the end of the table, who didn't know how to speak, who didn't know how to take up space, all of a sudden was forced to the front. Maybe you can relate to something like this. Because with this topic today around leadership, the role of a leader is knowing when to be able to step forward and when to step back and allow space for others. But of course, I was 13, so I had no idea. I had no idea what I was doing. I was completely unconscious and unaware. By the way, those 2 pictures of, we did actually win sports day, we won swimming day, and we won pancake race day. And of course, my mum is a terrible photographer, so she's never in the right angle. Who is this? Well, is it Tom Hanks or is it Forrest Gump? Well, actually, it's Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks taking the role of Forrest Gump, stepping into this role. And his ability to align his actions with his words, his nonverbal communication, results in how well we are able to trust him, be influenced by him, and go along with his role. And leadership is that first step of like taking on that role, stepping into that role, choosing to step forward and becoming conscious in that space. If you're reading McKinsey or Gallup, Harvard Business Review, Deloitte, today what they speak about, the top 3 leadership competencies are listening, communication, and taking action. Which is great, because in embodied sense, these are all embodied processes. The ability to listen, to take on, to understand, then gives us an ability to then communicate with someone else, maybe a group, on eye level. And then the ability to take this group and lead them forward, wherever that might be. My work as an embodiment coach, we're looking at the ability to bring the body in. And embodiment, if you didn't know, let's debunk all the myths, is just an awareness towards the body. To be disembodied is to numb or to disassociate, to take away the feelings from. So embodiment, when we're talking about it, is really just the ability to become and bring our awareness towards the body, to become conscious of it. And that's a wonderful thing, because over the years, evolution has formed us into a listening instrument. From the outside, from the inside of our nervous system, we've just grown outwards. And we have sensors all over our skin interacting with the world. We are a sense and respond organism. 11 million pieces of electrical information come into our body every moment, and only our brain can handle 50 of them. So really, our body is this incredible interface between what's going on around us and inside us. And then we can make those decisions, communicate, and then lead. Maybe I just add one more thing in here. When we really listen, there's actually really only two movements that we make. Either a step forward towards something, we want more of this, this is good, we like this is great. Or kind of step away from something, like this is not good, not safe, this is dangerous, I don't like this person, I don't want to do this. So we're just going forward and we're going backwards. Listening inside and outside. I want to share with you this model. This is a lovely model that I think illustrates the layers of listening. This is a model that I've actually taken from a gentleman called Dr. Alan Watkins. He makes a wonderful, wonderful TED talk. It's called Being Brilliant Every Day. And I wanted to kind of steal this because I think it highlights, and as I said, illustrates very nicely some considerations of how our nervous system and body work together. So at the top, I'm hoping it's on this side. I think it's on this side. At the top, we have our performance. And generally in leadership and in businesses, is it this side, Belina? Or is it this side? It's this side. Okay, I'm not going to point. We're looking to better our performance, whether we are in work, academic, sports, life. We're looking to improve our performance and make it longer and maybe more efficient, and also at better energy levels, so we're not, again, burning out. Under that comes our behavior, our actions. And the idea being that from our performance, it takes our actions and our behaviors. And if you do the same actions and behaviors, you're going to get the same results. So what we need to do is we need to change what we do and how we do it. Now, these two are both on the external. And so telling someone just to do things differently is one thing, and they may or may not be able to do that. But really, to affect change in someone, we need to go inside. And so our behavior is underpinned by our thinking. How do we think about a certain person, a situation, an environment? How well are we able to think about something? Do we have the headspace to think about something? Or are we just too busy, too stressed? So let's go below that. And we go into feeling. What is our general feeling of a situation? And how might our feeling then impact our thinking? Again, our feeling of this kind of overarching, am I stressed, exhausted? Am I pleased? Really, the way that we feel about something will impact our thinking. And you may have heard this adage, our thoughts and our feelings impact our actions and our behaviors. Well, it's also true that our actions and behaviors impact our thoughts and our actions and behaviors. Sorry, Feeling, thoughts and feelings, actions and behaviors, thoughts and feelings. It's a circle. But there's something lower than this, and that's our raw emotions. Our emotions of maybe frustration, anger, nervousness that might create that level of stress. Or maybe we feel joy and excitement, and that becomes pleasure, then impacting our feeling, impacting our thinking, impacting our actions and behaviors, and then our performance. But really what I'm most interested in, and I think that where we get the most juice, is right at the bottom. Physiology. What's going on in our body? What's happening when we're looking at our sensations that's impacting our emotions? This is just literally data. Those a million pieces of information every moment, there's electrical information that's coming from all around of our body. That's just data. And the more we're able to expand our ability to learn, to read that data, the better we are at understanding what's going on, and therefore be able to communicate and then be able to take action better. This sensory data is broken down into exteroception, interoception, and proprioception. And don't worry, this is my last slide. So this is the last bit you'll have to remember. Listening to learn is a learnable skill. These three areas that we've spoken about. Exteroception is probably let's start at the bottom actually. Exteroception is probably the one that you know the best. Exteroception is our five senses. What's going on outside of our body? Our sight, our sound, our taste, our smell, and our touch. And they are just one class of sensation. But actually we have more. Interoception, internal sensations. Those can be broken down into temperature, pressure, and movement. We're going to be playing with this in a minute. And finally, proprioception. Sensors in our bones and muscles and joints to know where we are in space. When you get up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet in the dark, there's a way and a reason that you do it without falling over the table. So all of these three, exteroception from outside, interoception inside, and our ability to move in space, are all levels of listening that when we bring these together, we have a bigger data set to understand. Okay. All right. And I'll let you remember that by presence pi, P-I-E. Remember, to become present is the start of us for listening. All right. So hopefully that's enough theory. Let's all stand up. And I'd like to start with a small exercise in developing this process of listening. So when you're ready, please, levez-vous, as the French would say. Find yourself a standing position. And we're going to do 4 different steps here. And firstly, I want you to put your feet on the ground. Put your feet flat on the floor. Feel the corners of your feet. And just allow your ankles to be soft. And I want you to really drop into, as I said, these sensations of any movement, pressure, and temperature. And allowing your attention to come up through your knees, softening the knees, attention up into the hips, softening the hips, allowing the spine to be long and free. We're just going to do some grounding here, bringing the attention up the back of the neck, softening the front of the forehead, softening the eyebrows, the cheeks, the jaw, and softening down the front. I just want you to turn your attention inward. And we're just going to be listening out to what's going on as our physical body slows down. Maybe we start to get a sense of our energetic body. Heart still beating. stomach still digesting, blood pumping. Feeling any tension in the shoulders, just noticing. Any spots that feel good, any spots that feel like they want some attention. Allowing our focus to be into the feet. And I welcome you now to bring our hands somewhere around your belly button, around your stomach, and we find our center. Allowing your attention to feel the sensation between hand and stomach, stomach and hand. Bringing your awareness to that space or the warmth behind your hand. Allowing that to expand. Now we've done some grounding and centering. Now let's expand that feeling, that felt sense, that listening all the way through the body. Bringing awareness from the toes to the top of the head, up and down, front and back. And now we'll just allow to expand that a little bit more. And for this, I invite you just to softly open your eyes. You can look forward. You don't need to look at the screen as long as you can hear my voice. That's absolutely fine. You're welcome just to look a little bit left, a little bit right around the room. You can start to orientate yourself in space. And just see if you can bring more of that listening from inside to the outside. Just notice how you're feeling here. Tuning in allows us to expand our ability to listen, self-awareness, and our ability to understand and now to shift our state into something more beneficial. As we shift into these calm states, we re-engage the front parts of our brain so we can also think more clearly. Great. And shake that out. Maybe just give yourself 10 or 15 seconds now, just to check in with your state. Maybe think of any words that come up for you. And what's different now? Right. What do you feel capable of now? Okay. So, staying in a standing position. This very simple tool, the chat very quickly. Just very quickly. All of these competencies, leadership competencies and more, vision, partnership, collaboration, presenting, communication, influence, feedback, empathy, listening, compassion, resilience, self-care, mindfulness, restoration, values, patience, strength, confidence, motivation, self-esteem, and visibility. We've just been through all of those. So depending on those quadrants, we can develop those competencies. Listening, communicating, taking action, listening deeply, communicating clearly, taking action confidently. All starts with listening, both internally and externally. So we've got 9 minutes left. I just want to say this work I take in to do one-on-one coachings, depending on what individuals need, how they need, what blocks and what things they need to work with, immersions, workshops, trainings, executive presence that uses all of these elements. Tough conversations. How do we build more empathy, more listening, more understanding, more connection? Confidence and resilience, developing the internal of someone, those back four, the four that we started with. How do I help people settle in, resource themselves, feel good, and then develop their own confidence so that when they're ready from the back four to move forward into the world, they're ready. And finally, creativity and presenting. That's just the top four. Good ideas, big ideas, developing confidence, visibility, and then the ability to mesh and share an important message with your audience. And many more things in there. So my final question, what if we could bring more of this listening into businesses and leaders? Thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.